1926, there was a fourth anniversary of Chernobyl. The worst disaster, nuclear disaster that happened in 1986. I was born in 1986. I was less than 3 months old when this happened. And back then, Russia held May holidays. It lasted like from May 1st to May 9th. Despite the severe danger, Russia was trying to hide the consequences. And despite the influence of nuclear power and radiation, people in Kiev still were forced to go out for all these May demonstrations. And my mother was a student back then, and I was less 3 months old. And we worked in Kiev, even though I was born in Chernihiv. It was not just a crime of nuclear radiation, it was also a crime of big lies. Because Russia always lies. You can't trust Russia, never.
Треба тряпочку мати таку спеціальну. Тут чіпати можна, а тут не можна, так?
Ніде не можна.
Окей.
Але ну що, якщо воно вже там професіонально, але воно навіть такі якісь дрібні штуки, вони в цілому не впливають на фото. Так, складно. Ну, якщо взагалі можна його побачити. Якщо такі умови, типу, якщо проти сонця знімати, то якщо там є забруднення, то воно буде дуже набагато більше бліків. Скло чисте,
А я бачив, деякі фірми кажуть, можуть клін зробити.
Ну, це сенсор, так, сенсор можна чистити, бо все одно туди якась там пил потрапляє, ще щось, але його сенсор треба дуже обережно чистити. Але багато камер, вони
Захист.
не те, щоб захист, бо якщо щось перед сенсором ставити, воно буде зменшувати чутливість, погіршувати його характеристики, але там вони роблять так, що сенсор трохи трясеться, щоб струшувати пил. Навіть тут, бачиш, якщо я вимикаю, він сенсор клін. Я не знаю, що воно робить, але щось робить.
Щось робить.
Ну, або каже, що щось робить.
What Russia keep doing now, they're pretending to be victims of the war. They, instead of taking responsibility and guilt for what is happening and what they have done, they are trying to pretend that they are refugees as well. Here, I met, I know there are welcome centers for refugees, and I've heard that people from Russia and Belarus, they also considered here as the war refugees, and for me it is ridiculous. It's completely nonsense and unacceptable. You can't tolerate nation that supports this war for so many years, and it's over 140 million people living in Russia supporting it. I know it's possible, but it's not supposed to be like that. They should be responsible for their war crimes, not being refugees and taking advantages of them. It's not a special operation, it's the war they started. All they have to do is withdraw their troops from Ukraine, and there will be no Russian war refugees. It's all they have to do. But they're not doing that because they want more territory, they want more power. And they still trying to brainwash and whitewash their war crimes. So we have to remind the world that Russia is a terrorist state.
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 No trade with Russia.
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 More sanctions on 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 Russia.
Stop the war, protect the peace.
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 Russia is a terrorist state.
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 I want to say thank you for everyone who continues to come. I know it's not many people, but every time I get feedback from defenders who support this Women Fight for Ukraine, when they see this ongoing support here in London, that we are still raising awareness, we still reminding people about the war, we're still raising awareness about those who remain in Russian captivity, about all the Ukrainian prisoners of war, and for them it matters. They understand that news about Ukraine are not at the front line of media, but Ukrainian defenders, they are still standing at the front line, protecting the peace for the whole democratic world. Even though the war is on Ukrainian territory, but Ukrainian defenders, they are protecting world democracy. With Ukrainian skills, with Ukrainian experience, with Ukrainian digitalization and technologies, you can see now it's being used to protect in Iran, in the war in the Middle East as well. And it's crucial to remind the world not just about how bad things in Ukraine, but also how resilient and strong Ukraine is as Ukrainian defenders. But there are thousands of Ukrainian defenders who remain in Russian captivity, who are being tortured every day. I had an experience talking to those who have been in Russian captivity and who were back from Russian captivity, and they share the same stories, how they're being tortured physically and tortured with hunger. And in Ukraine, every day at 9 a.m. we honor those who were killed and those who died during the war. But there are Ukrainian defenders who came back from Russian captivity, and they honor also 10 p.m. And this is the time when in Russian captivity physical tortures stop. At 10 p.m. they kind of go to bed and then sleep. So these Ukrainian defenders who came back from Russian captivity, they honor their mates who they've been fighting with, but they still remain in Russian captivity. We have to remind the world about prisoners of war, Ukrainian prisoners of war, and demand for every prisoner of war being back home. This month, from May 18, there will be fourth anniversary since our defenders at Azovstal went to Russian captivity, and it's been 4 long years, them being severe tortured, just because they are from Azov battalion, known all over the world, and they are being tortured in Russian captivity with severe cruelty. So we have to remind the world about them. Free Azovstal defenders!
Azovstal defenders.
Free 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 Ukrainian prisoners of war.
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 Bring Ukrainian children back.
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 I have a bag from organization called Voices of Children. And what is written here is "We are Ukrainians, we don't give up" by Zhenya, 9-year-old child. This is what about Ukraine, about Ukrainian strength, Ukrainian resilience. We have been fighting against Russia for centuries, and we were many generations were born with this strength and resilience. But we still need help and support from the world to fight Russia, because Russia is a terrorist state.
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 Stop the war, protect the peace.
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 No trade with Russia.
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 More sanctions on 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 Russia.
No stage for 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 Russia.
Russia is a terrorist state.
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 Thank you for standing with Ukraine. Thank you for supporting Ukrainians in Ukraine and here in Great Britain. Thank you for coming and for your ongoing support. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Нашим захисникам і захисницям тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Дякую.